What's going on, world? I'm your host, George Kill, and welcome to the sixth and final episode of Sneak Peek Season 7. Now, we kicked off the season by raiding Warriors forward Andre Iguodala's shoe room during the NBA Finals, then trekked to Atlanta for a two-part episode with DJ Greg Street, in addition to stopping by the multiple shoe rooms of Ludacris. Dug deeper in the South to feature sneaker collector and San Antonio native JD Beltran, and most recently made our way to Las Vegas for a sneak peek inside Philadelphia 76ers guard Pierre Jackson's sneaker room. In today's episode, we visit the home of the man behind one of Detroit's premier sneaker shops, Rick Williams. The Burn Rubber owner and distinct life governor is a collector of collabs and an avid fan of New Balances. Check it out. All right, Nice Kicks fan, we're out here in Detroit yet again, this time with my man Rick Williams from Burn Rubber and Distinct Life. What's up, man?
What up, G?
Good to catch up again.
Thanks for coming out, my man.
So we came here today to see something different from what we're always seeing on Sneak Peek. And I think you're the man for that.
I'd like to think myself that I do enjoy sneakers that, you know, they're not as sought after as your run-of-the-mill weekend release.
Well, let's go see some different stuff.
All right. So this is my sneaker room. It's my humble sneaker room. Like I said, every year I give away around 100 to 160 pairs of shoes because I try to keep this room under control. Told my wife if it gets past this room, then it's time to get rid of some shoes. So I guess let me get into some of the things that kind of got me started and excited. The MT580 is probably one of my favorite shoes, especially from the New Balance brand. I've gotten rid of a lot of them, but most of the ones that I kept are right here. Here's one of the old undefeated Stussy Mad Hectic, the Mad Hectic collab. Shout out to Michael Dupuis. He did a collab with Undefeated. These were dope. This was like an inline 580 when they started making them and sending them to the US. This is another Mita collab. The 580 really made me a big fan of Mita. You know what I'm saying? My boy from Japan, Kengo Tanabe, he sent me those. I think this is a 670. I like these too. Oh, that's an interesting color blocking.
Yeah.
And it's old.
Yeah.
So things have been around. Woo, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Another Mad Hectic joint. This is the original ones because the original ones had the suede. And then I think they reissued them in patent leather. Another one of them. They came out with these classic, I should start wearing these again. But it's just the material story, you know what I'm saying? They had the suede, the mesh, and the leather. And basically a pretty tonal, clean shoe.
Talk to me about how you like details. You're really into details as far as materials.
When me and Rose sat down and did these, it was about the different materials. Like you have suede, then we have nubuck, 3M, which is Rose's favorite thing. You know, every shoe he tries to slide that in somewhere. You know, we have ostrich, tumbled leather, smooth leather. You know, and I appreciate that, you know what I mean? And then the fact that all of these, the plastic pieces, the rubber pieces all glow in the dark. Oh, this is another one of my favorite collabs. This is a 577, but this was Size and Staple got together and did this. Oh, this is dope. This was the Spy vs. Spy pack from Mad Magazine. They did something inspired by the Black Spy and the White Spy. So this was probably one of my favorite projects that came out also. This is another general release, but it was just so clean I had to do it. Undefeated also did this 3 the Hard Way pack. And my grandfather was the one who helped me get Burn Rubber. The name of the shoe was the Jimmy. So that was the real reason I bought it, because it was named after my grandfather. So besides the MT580s, I also like the 998 a lot. This was the J. Crew 998. Concepts did the $100 bill joints. Amazing. Oh, they also did the mint green joints. I didn't mention this, but the 670 is also another one of my favorite silhouettes. And they're actually bringing these back now. I think I only have one 999 left. I don't like the way it fits. It's my personal preference. I think my foot is too narrow. But let me tell you a story about this 999 that I'm sure everyone knows. This was actually Frank's sample. So before they came out, he just sent me a pair. When we did the first burn rubber New Balance, the gray MT580, Frank actually picked me and Ro up from the airport and brought us to the New Balance meeting. Okay. And we're in the meeting, and my guy Lou, one of the product line managers at New Balance, pops this 999 on the table. I'm like, Lou, what's that for? Because the 580 didn't do well in the US before. So ours was really one of the first ones to actually make a change in the new US for that model. So they were reluctant for us to do it, and we were an unknown store. Like, no one really knew burn rubber at the time. So what ended up happening is Frank was like, I'll do it. I'll do the 998. Because I was like, yo, I looked at Ro. He was like, Rick, if you want to stay with this 580, then that's what it is. Yeah. So I stayed with the 580. We kept it moving, sold out of the shoe. And then that's where the Kennedy was born at that moment. So that's a little story that no one really knows, and you know, everyone knows that I work really closely with Frank. So, you know, we were definitely discussing that throughout the whole time of him designing it.
So tell me this, I'm seeing something from your closet that I don't see a lot, just because you have variety. Yeah. Like, you have your fair share of J's and Nikes, which everyone shows, but tell the people how it's more to shoes than just Nikes and Jordans.
Nikes and Jordans definitely have their place. With most of us as retailers, you know, that's a big portion of our income. We make a lot from Nike. They have the biggest market share. The majority of the consumers, that's what they recognize. I would imagine they spend the most on marketing, you know, so that's what these kids see. But me personally, growing up, I wasn't only wearing Nikes. I liked the style of New Balances. And I was kind of like the outsider. I was buying most of these 580s on eBay or from stores in Japan because they didn't have them here. That was the thing that set me apart. Same with Adidas. Adidas has some dope silhouettes, like classic silhouettes. Like, obviously the Stan Smith is back right now, but the Superstar 80s, to me, is one of the best shoes ever. Oh, this is a crispy pair of the Lucre. This is probably one of my favorite shoes. Oh, I used to beat this shoe up. Nizza High, Head Porter. They did the collab. It came with a bag, but I think I gave it to my son. But as you can see, like back in the day, I was wearing them out, trying to get to the no sole. This was a gift from Adidas. Come on, you have to have the Run DMC joints. Never been worn. Just because I have so many white with black shell toes, I just didn't wear it, but these are amazing. Another reason I like Adidas is because they do stuff that you would not expect. Like, come on, this is a saddle shoe. Shout out to Aliyasha. Like, this is crazy. This was a joint by my guys at Bodega, the Boston Super. Just a clean shoe. But to me, it's about wearability. You know, I'm not really a big fan of chunky and bulky shoes. And then obviously Converse. Converse came back last year or the year before with the redone Chuck Taylor, the 1970s Chuck. And as you can see, come with me. The 1970s Chuck, all of these pink boxes and some of these not pink boxes, is one of my favorite Converse ever. Even my Nike collection is shoes that everybody's not wearing. You know what I'm saying? This is all courts. I have like 3 pairs of these and just beat them up. Because they were so cheap, you just buy more. It's a classic shoe. It's like, I would kind of say like Nike's version of the Chuck Taylor. You can wear it with everything. This is probably one of my favorite pairs just because of the leather. And I think I really like this because Fragment did a black pair and a white pair, and I could never get my hands on them. So I'm gonna use this opportunity. If anyone has a 9.5 in the black Fragment joints like these, all court lows, or the white ones, hit me up on Instagram at RickWLMS. Please, I'll send you Distinct Life shoes. I'll probably be able to find some burn rubber shoes to send you. Just hit me up. This is another one of my favorites, which is, I think they just re-released these, and I think they're getting ready to make another comeback because it's the tennis classic. But this was another Fragment collab that they did. You know what I'm saying? I like the understated shoes, the shoes that you can wear all the time. And, you know, it's more about your clothes. Obviously, you gotta have the Wallies. Oh, yeah. Because that's what Ghostface told us. Right. You gotta have the Wallies. And these are some shoes that Frank did when he was at Concepts. He did the all patent leather Wallabies. My only pair of Supreme shoes is a Wallaby. I actually had the camo Air Force Ones, but if somebody offers me a lot of money, I'm gonna give them the shoe because I don't care. But I definitely kept these. I think they did an excellent job on this whole pack. I used to do a lot of IDs. I think that's the precursor to me designing shoes. But I used to do a lot of them. Like my first son passed away after he was born, and I did like 3 of them in tribute to him. Here's a pair that I did back in the day. Had this saying, it's a saying that my wife and I always talk about: movement is life, stagnation is death. And it's like, as long as you're not just sitting there, as long as you're trying to make some type of progression, you know, you'll be all right. This one right here was a black on black on black one. And I did this one, it says Richard James Williams Jr. And this was for our first son that passed away. So like when people call my son now Junior, he's not, he's really a third because this little boy was born. I used to wear these. When we first bought Burn Rubber, I wore these a lot. And obviously I was a big fan of the Air Max 90, obviously. So same thing. So yeah, I did a lot of that at the beginning.
So let's play this game. Burn Rubber is known for having some of the dopest collabs, right? Mm-hmm. So I want you to show me some of your favorite collabs from other brands.
First, I would probably say that this shoe, obviously, the Kennedy is one of my favorite ones. Just because I know what went into this. I know what Frank was thinking and what we had talked about. The shoe was so dope. I've seen New Balance put out other iterations of the same thing probably 4 times. Yeah. So obviously he did an excellent job on that, you know, if they felt the need to put it out again and again. Let me just stop for a moment. Those of you out there who are fans of sneaker customization, Eric El Cappy Lowry is one of my good friends, and I believe, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time he was featured on Nice Kicks was when I sent a personal email to you and Matt, like, yo, please feature my boy. It was the South Beach Sixes. Oh, okay. And I took the pictures in my basement. But he did this shoe for me back in the day, like, you know, when he was first getting started. The Soulbox 1500s that's an amazing collaboration. This is probably one of the favorites. Come on, we couldn't be doing this interview and not pull out the Nice Kicks 1500s. The 1600s around here somewhere too. One of my favorite stores overseas, sneakers and stuff. They did this Gore-Tex MPC. Yo, one of my favorite collabs, and we don't even have a Vans account, if you can believe it. But when they did this Carhartt Work in Progress collab, you know, obviously I'm a sucker for camo. Yeah. And this was the one. I love this shoe.
Which explains what's on your feet right now.
Oh yeah, the bake joints, I had to do them. I got 2 pair. I had to get them. Just Staple did this with Puma. And my thing is, you have to respect Just Gangsta. This is the epitome of creating a brand. And I feel like when he sent me these, it was, you know, I was so grateful because I think what he's doing is amazing. He's definitely somebody that I have a lot of respect for and I look up to. And he's a peer. So it's like, you know, Jeff is a good guy. You know, these made the world go crazy. I had the ZX, but somebody offered me too much cheese, and I had to let them have it. I don't know where they are. I think they're on this table over here, but I had the Neighborhood Superstars, and they had the illest lace lock that I've ever seen. A good friend of mine, a fellow Michigan sneaker shop owner, my boy Eric from Premier blessed me with these, with both of these, their first edition and their second edition dunks. I think they killed this. So these are definitely some of my favorite collabs. I'm sure there's more, I just don't know where they are. And there's a lot of shoes. Even these Concept Sperry's. These were dope.
Let's go back to Burn Rubber.
Okay.
You know, we all know Burn Rubber, like I said, for some amazing collabs. So let's run through a few of those.
All right, let's see if we can find these collabs. Here's some collaborative projects. First, we gotta start right here. This is Ro and I. This was our first shoe that we ever did. And it was the Burn Rubber MT580. If you go into Burn Rubber, this is what the colors of the shop and kind of like the colors of our brand. We did this Argyle pattern, really just looking for a way to show the brand and to show what the brand, you know, the colors of the brand. It was our way of showing that in one pattern. And then more recently, we did this Pump Fury, and the inspiration was this shoe. I know it's another brand, but it was our color. And that was kind of a shout out to Jeff again, because he was able to take his colorway and keep doing his colorway. And this was our first attempt at actually taking our Burn Rubber colorway and then running it back. This was a shoe that there was no hype about this shoe. The Reebok Night Storm, the inspiration was like 90s hip hop, the golden era of hip hop where, you know, cats used to wear like mountain boots. So after that, we did a workforce pack where we had a shoe inspired by the white collar worker in Michigan. And we had one inspired by the blue collar worker, which is right here. After that, we also did the shoe inspired by Joe Louis. We had 30 limited pairs that came with a violin case. I don't know where the Miggy is, but we did a shoe, the 574, the Triple Crown. Besides that, oh, I also did a shoe for Mike Posner for one of his tours I did. That was really the first shoe that had the Distinct Life branding on it. My first Distinct Life shoe was this ventilator. And I shouted out, obviously, my boy Frank with the BAU brand. But the shoe features the proprietary camouflage pattern. And then I kept going with this theme with the pack of the Distinct Life Reebok GL6000s that have been coming out throughout the year. So that's the last one. Another one of my favorite projects that we did through Burn Rubber was the Iverson Question, and Ro came up with this story. He made up this guy from Michigan, and his name was Apollos Young, and AY, like AI, and basically the rise and fall of this legendary made-up player from Michigan. Then I did this thing with the first Novum project, and this was also my first Saucony. We did this pack where Frank designed this shoe and I designed this shoe. And this was something that also did well in the market. And this was my second collab. This came after the ventilator and before the GL6000s. So I'm probably forgetting a few shoes, but that's a lot of the collabs. So look, I know I said I stay away from what everybody really wears. But this shoe is the shoe that got it all started for me. The Jordan Infrared 6. I actually have a pair in here somewhere with the Nike on the back. But this right here is the shoe that my mama bought me when I was young, like when I was a young buck. And she went in, I feel like it was 3 months after the shoes came out, and I was still able to get them. So this shoe, barring everything else, is my favorite shoe in the world. So I had to make sure I included that in this conversation, because without this shoe, I probably wouldn't even own a Burn Rubber. This shoe was the inspiration.